Do you want to know how to create passive income? That's what I'll be sharing with you in this video. Hi, I'm Camille Gaines, founder of FinancialWoman.com and author of Earn, Grow, Give. As a financial coach, I've helped people create passive income streams based on what I learned when my husband and I created passive income streams in mid-late life so that we could retire early and work from home. Now, what I want to share with you in this video is the very first step that you'll take in creating passive income. And at the end of the video, I'm going to tell you a couple things that are myths that you're hearing probably online about passive income. Now, let me tell you, start out, first of all, the first thing you want to do is figure out how much capital you want to use to generate your income. Once you figure that out, then it will naturally eliminate a lot of things, and it will naturally make other things make sense in figuring out where you're going with this, okay? So bear with me and I'll give you some examples. So there are three different types of ways, or three different ways to look at the amount of money you're putting into your passive income project, okay? The first one is very capital intensive. An example of that might be investing in stocks and bonds. So it takes a lot of money. You take all that money, you invest it in stocks and bonds, and then that generates the passive income. That it takes all of that capital to earn that money that you're getting from your stocks and bonds. As a general rule, there are some tricks and etc., but as a general rule, that's how it works. It's very capital intensive, okay? The second level of capital is what I like to call medium intensity, and that usually involves some form of scalability or leverage. An example of a medium capital intensive passive income investment would be real estate. This is because you usually put down 10%, well, usually 20%, 25%, a little bit more than 10 these days, but maybe even 50%. So you can look at your numbers, play with them, put down the amount of money that makes that investment work for you, and that's a whole other video. But in other words, you don't put down the entire amount usually. Now you can, but you usually don't. And so that means that it is not as capital intensive. You didn't have to put as much of your money into this project in order for it to generate a certain level of passive income for you. Another example of that might be angel investing, and there's a lot. I can't even say that without giving you the warning or the caveat that there's a lot to learn about angel investing. A lot of myths there too I've learned over the years, so I won't go into that in this short video. But an example of angel investing, there might be a dozen investors that are putting in $100,000 each, or a dozen that are putting in $10,000 each, or $5,000, and because of the structure of that type of investment, there can be a lot of upside potential. And as you probably know, more angel investing, small businesses go out of business than actually work. So that's why diversification is important. But nevertheless, those that work can really work. And for that reason, there's a lot of scalability in that angel investment that does work out. So those are examples of medium capital intensity. So in looking at your money, think, how much money do I have and how much can I put into this investment without disrupting my life? Then the third level of capital intensity is, of course, low capital intensity. Let me give you a couple of examples of this. I love this area. So the first example I'll give you is a consulting business. Now, you may have seen my video where I talk about how to start a consulting business. When you leave corporate, you've got tons of skills, right, by the time you're in midlife, and you can teach and use those skills, you can consult, you can offer it as a service base, whatever it is that you can do with that particular skill that you've gotten on some sort of consulting basis. It's very low cost to get started in that. Really, all it takes is getting some business cards printed up. So you're talking about maybe $30 or $40 to get started on a potential income. Now, the only thing is that is not passive, of course, because you are trading dollars for hours. But that's not always true, because if the consulting works out and people like you, you may decide to do some sort of group consulting program. And in that way, while it's not passive initially, it's very scalable. Not only that, you can record it And then you can record the teachings that you're doing or some of the trainings you're doing, and then it does become passive because you can sell that as a product. Now, this is something similar to what we've done online with one of our companies. Another example of a low capital business is just an online business. So that might be something like selling products on Amazon or Etsy. I have an Amazon store, and was not terribly capital intensive, yet the upside is good. So that's an example of low capital type of business. Now, I wanted to share with you those two caveats that I mentioned. The first one is that a lot of people are touting online, driving these Ferraris that they've rented for an hour in these huge mansions, and then talking about passive income and you can make millions of dollars and all this. Well, there is no such thing as passive income. So that's what I wanted to tell you. Number one is that, for example, the Amazon business, and I know this because I've done it, the Amazon business, it took a lot of work for me to figure out how to do that business, how to import my own products. I brand them, I sell them. So all that was a huge learning curve. Not only that, I had to pay to import my products, and so I had to pay team to help me get all of that set up. So while it is fairly low capital still, it is not passive at first. Now it's really pretty passive. I have some help from my team in running it, and there's very little work involved now. But it's so little that I would call it passive at this point. But initially, it's not passive. It's the same with online products. It's the same with the example I gave you with the consulting. And I know that a lot of people use affiliate as something that is passive, but come on, you first got to develop your following. So whatever it is, you've got to learn it. And then the other thing is that with passive income on stocks and bonds, even if you have stocks and bonds, you're going to have to either spend time researching stocks and bonds and learning about them, or you're going to have to spend time researching, tracking, working with a financial advisor, a wealth manager, or perhaps a mutual fund that you purchased to invest in stocks and bonds for you that generates that passive income. So in other words, like I said, nothing is passive. Everything requires some level of diligence, some level of attention, some level of work. Is it fun work? Well, yeah, it sort of is, actually, most of it, I think, for the most part, because creating passive income streams can be really such a great segue into retirement. It can be done before retirement, in midlife, anytime really, but mid-late life makes a lot of sense, and then you can keep those income streams going. They get easier the longer you do them, and so it is a lot of fun, and it requires a lot of sort of thinking outside the box, which I think is great as you grow and develop as a person and get older. That's what I wanted to share with you in this video. If you found it helpful, let me know by clicking the thumbs up button. Ask me any questions or make any comments below this video, and be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.